Charlie Condou says this song was part of his DNA before he was a member of the cast on Coronation Street. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it just all started on Twitter. I'm a follower. And you're like, hey, I'm in Vancouver, by the way.
I know, right? It was a small world.
It's lovely to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Were you here on a cruise?
Yeah, we came. My partner's Canadian. He's from Alberta, and we wanted to have a big family holiday with his parents and brother and family and whatever. So we went up on a big cruise to Alaska, which was incredible.
Nice,
I've never done anything like that before. So yeah,
We're
now back in Vancouver and having 3 or 4 days of running everywhere and trying to see as much as we can.
Well, you got to just keep coming back.
Exactly.
We're going to get to more about your visit here and your family, but let's talk a little bit about Coronation Street because you played such an amazing character, Marcus Dent, midwife of all things, and rather, if I may, a gay icon on this program.
Well, maybe, I guess so, yeah. He was, I think the thing about Marcus is he was somebody that was very comfortable with who he was, comfortable with his sexuality, very settled. And then suddenly he fell in love with a woman, which is not something that's particularly usual, but it does happen. And they wanted to kind of look at that in the show. I mean, obviously, they're always looking for drama and different scenarios. Anyway,
it is a soap opera.
But they kind of wanted to see what actually happened when a gay man fell in love with a woman and how that affected him. So I don't think the plan was that Marcus and Maria were going to be together for very long, but the public really liked us together. Sammy, who played Maria, is such a great girl and very popular with the public. So they kind of kept us together for a long time. And that was really great.
I love that Marcus really wanted to be a dad.
Yeah.
Which is sort of ingrained in your DNA.
Yeah, I mean, that was something that had always been really important to me anyway. And in fact, funnily enough, I did Coronation Street for a year and then I left. And then I had my daughter. And then when they asked me to come back, it was just going to be for a very short period of time. And it was to get back together with Sean, who had a son. And they wanted to have Sean's son, Dylan, come back and be brought up for a little while by 2 men. And so obviously it was something that was interesting to me because of my personal circumstances as well. So I was like, yeah, I'll come back for 3 months.
For those who don't,
never left.
Right. So then you get stayed and stayed, and I wish you'd stayed and stayed. You're one of my favorite characters. But
thank you.
In real life, even better, because I love the story of how alternative parenting and being an advocate of that is so big for you. Hal and Georgia, your kids, massive part of your life. They have 3 parents.
They do, yes.
Tell the story so our viewers know.
It was something that, being a parent is something that had always been important to me. Ever since I was a teenager, I wanted to be a dad. And I have a friend, Catherine, who is a very old friend of mine, old in that we've known each other a long time, not that she's really ancient.
Right.
And she was, we used to have those conversations that I think a lot of people probably have, which is a lot of women who are perhaps single and getting older saying, you know, if I hit 40 and I'm still single, we should have a kid together.
Right.
And it was all very light-hearted, but then she was getting older and she realized that she was still single and she really wanted to be a mum. So we started to talk about it more seriously, and we were like, well, if we do this, how's it going to work? And at that point I was with my partner Cameron. We've been together for 10 years now, so then it was, well, there are 3 of us in this situation now, so if we're going to do it, how do we make that work? How does that happen? And we decided that we would go ahead and do IVF and then co-parent. And we're really lucky. I mean, we have 2 kids now, and it works so well for us that I kind of wanted to talk about that. And I felt like I was in a position where, being in the public eye, I had a platform where I could say, you know, gay people can have children too. You just need to think a bit more carefully about it and work out how you're going to do it. But I don't think it's a bad thing to think carefully about having children, whatever your sexuality, really.
That is good advice right there, because you need a license to drive a car or get a pet, but you can just have a kid.
Anyone could have a kid, yeah.
Right. Did you run into any obstacles as a trio looking to have IVF, to have children?
What, we didn't.
No.
And I was really pleased about that, because you never know. I didn't have any role models. There was nobody else that I knew. Again, another reason that I wanted to talk about it was when I was growing up, I didn't see any other gay men doing this. And so I was really, really conscious that I wanted to talk about my experience so other people could see that it was a possibility. And I didn't run into any problems. I mean, it's interesting. You know what it's like on Twitter. You can can post something about the weather, and somebody somewhere will give you a hard time.
Haters gonna hate.
And I had, quite. Yeah. And I had a column in one of the national newspapers back back home in The Guardian that I did weekly for a year, and I used to post links to the column every week, and I never got a single negative response, which is kind of incredible,
that's
really.
Amazing.
So I think the world is changing. I mean, I know that over here in Canada, people are a lot more kind of, you know, accepting.
Especially in
much
Vancouver.
more tolerant society. Well, I think so,
we do have an amazing
actually.
community here.
And you've had equal marriage here for a long time, something that we've just got recently in the UK, and in fact, in Ireland just a couple of days ago.
Right. Home to vote. Hashtag home to vote. We loved it. I could talk to you all day. I literally could. You need to check out Charlie's website, and he is a great, there's the website, outwiththefamily.co.uk.
Yep.
Follow on Twitter. Great insight, great advice, great attitude. See your lovely family, and follow him on Twitter. The tweet about the grouse grind was hilarious. Thank you for being here, Charlie.